Financial Post, 24th of April 2023, Canada's attempt to loosen China's control over rare earth mining runs into trouble as prices fall. Governments worldwide were keen to encourage local industry, but the supply chain snarls of recent years gave rare earth businesses the wind in their sails. The current economic turmoil and the possibility of a recession are putting that momentum to the test. After its costs have increased over the past few years, Australia's Vital Metals Ltd said last week that it had stopped work on its partially completed rare earth processing facility in Saskatoon. In a news release dated April 18, Vital stated that the company is pausing all construction-related activities at the Saskatoon processing facility to allow the company to focus on cash management and to seek alternative funding sources. Even more bluntly, Interim Chair Richard Crookes stated in the announcement that there is no economic imperative to finish the project, citing increased expenses, decreased pricing, and a lack of a market for the facility's intended products. In light of China's growing geopolitical rivalry with the United States and other Western democracies, Crookes' assessment serves as a reality check on what it will take to diversify the supply of rare earth metals and wrest control of the industry away from that country. Even if several rare earth businesses in North America have advanced over the last 2 years, China continues to dominate the market, accounting for 61% of worldwide output in 2021, or 168,000 tons. Even if relations between China and the West were better, that degree of concentration would be problematic. As the epidemic demonstrated, supply chains can suffer when access to what is essentially the only source is disrupted by unforeseen occurrences. Short-term challenges for rare earth as new projects outside of China come online. The ability of rare earth elements to be forged into strong magnets that power pumps, motors, and sensors found in everyday objects like windshield wipers and fuel pumps, as well as sophisticated sensors and the engines that power wind turbines and electric vehicles, make them essential to modern technology. According to Ryan Castillo, managing director of a Toronto-based company, if it vibrates, moves, or is sensing, there's a significant probability that it contains magnets composed of rare earth. Rare earth research company Adamas Intelligence. According to Castillo, several factors have caused the price of rare earths to decline. Electronics demand has stagnated as inflation has taken hold. The business has also been affected by reducing sales of conventional cars, a significant source of demand for rare earth magnets. Castillo claimed that as a result, the processing facilities in China, where the majority of attractions are still made, are overflowing with inventory. All of these difficulties are transient, he declared. I don't know how long that is, but the massive growth story over the long term hasn't been affected at all, the author said. Longer-term possibilities weren't enough to convince Vital to keep spending money on its Saskatchewan operations. The company said it will conduct a 3-month review. The company said it would show a 3-month review. In the meantime, the company planned to keep its Saskatoon-based employees because these important stakeholders will be integral to allowing for a quick restart of construction and commissioning activities when the foundations for a long-term, sustainable business model are put in place. To detach from China, new tactics are needed. The only rare earth mine in Canada, Neshalacho, has been run by Vital since June 2021. It is a small operation that generates roughly 1,000 tons of beneficiated product, according to the most recent annual report of the business. Vital is also cutting jobs. In March, the corporation's board of directors announced that John Dorward, its chief executive, had left with 3 months' notice and that a global search for a replacement had begun. That came after a declaration in December that Vital was altering its approach in Saskatchewan. It had previously mined a tiny high-grade zone called North T, which is a measured resource of 68,000 tons of ore containing 9.6% light rare earth oxide, a class that includes the essential and often used element neodymium. But even though the deposit there is of a lower grade, Vital said it will now concentrate on developing a much larger site called Tardif, which is situated around 2 kilometers away from North T, to build a company that will last for decades. 119 million tons of ore from Tardif include 1.46% of rare earth oxides, including light and heavier rare earth that is less commonly used. To achieve this, Vital declared last week that it had finished a 5,500-meter drilling program to locate further high-grade zones at Tardif, which it referred to as one of the largest single deposits in the Western world. Although doing so would increase the value of the goods Vital sells, Vital hasn't stopped using the Saskatoon processing plant. The project has altered, and the initial capital cost projections of $5.25 million Australian dollars in September 2020 have long since passed. However, prices have been rising. As its goal to establish itself as a significant producer of rare earth has developed, Vital has gotten $7.5 million in loans and government backing for the venture. However, it raised the overall cost to $60.7 million Australian dollars in December after stating that it had invested $19.7 million Australian dollars in the Saskatoon plant, partly because it had doubled the yearly processing capacity to 1,000 tons. As details are ironed out, the severe price decline has caused many rare earth companies, including those besides Vital, to face challenges and re-evaluate their business plans. According to the March 29 earnings call for Toronto-based Neo Performance Materials Incorporated, which currently sits downstream as a producer of rare earth magnetic powder, the cost of magnets made from neodymium and praseodymium, two essential light rare earth elements, started 2022 at as high as $180 per kilogram and ended the year at as low as $90 per kilogram. On the March 29 call, Neo Performance's CEO Konstantin Karayianopoulos stated, "We're well into a period that requires careful navigation. Our industry and business are facing a complex landscape due to the convergence of macroeconomic conditions, constrained supply chains of rapidly expanding clean technologies, and volatile rare earth prices," says the report. Despite Karayianopoulos' warning that his company's margin would contract in the present market situation, the company ended the year with $147 million in cash on its balance sheet. It has used the chance to grow. It purchased a 90% stake in SG Technologies Group, one of Europe's top manufacturers of rare earth-based magnets and magnetic assemblies for industrial and commercial industries, on April 18 for $13 million. It is a component of the new Magnets to Mine vertical integration strategy, according to Frederick Bastian, an analyst at Raymond James Financial Incorporated who covers Neo. In August of last year, Neo made an upstream investment by purchasing a possible rare earth deposit in Greenland that might someday be mined. The long-term demand forecast for rare earth magnets is still strong, according to Castillo, and Western governments, from Canada and the United States to countries in Europe, are ready to challenge China's hegemony. Castillo stated, "The snowball's core has formed, and we can see it sliding down the slope. However, a few of the specifics are still being worked out.